Welcome everyone to the
Welcome to the podcast, Small Eyes Big Dreams,
Oh,
what
yes.
episode is it?
Season
Welcome,
3,
welcome.
Episode 11. Welcome,
Okay,
guys.
season 3, episode 11.
7-Eleven.
Welcome. Um, Today we're going to be talking about, as usual, something unplanned, something amazing, with your three hosts, Gerrard, Johnny, and Steve. And so I want to ask you guys a question of the day. What do you think is the best remedy for feeling sick?
Feeling sick?
Yeah, just like generally, like let's say you're having a bad car ride and then you just have, like a bad stomach, you're dizzy. But let's just say you're overworked, you keep working and then like your eyes are, just really tired and feel kind of sick, kind of dizzy. Like what would you do? Would you listen to SEBD or, something
Take a
else?
break. Sleep.
I'll try to
Really?
take, a pill and then sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That'll be
see. What if it's in the morning though? What if it's in the afternoon?
Go
Yeah,
back to sleep.
yeah. I would
I
still
mean,
sleep.
not,
Yeah,
not so hard.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
But then sometimes
No, because
it's just you get more dizzy after you wake up. That doesn't really
I
help.
mean, because if you're sick, really sick, you always feel sleepy.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. These days, I feel like some people are sick, like,
I'm sick.
including me. Yeah,
I'm sick.
I have stuffed nose. Yeah, me and a friend were talking about how it was because of the volcano
Oh,
ashes, and then it's gonna start a new COVID-19 with all the sulfur. I don't know, but maybe after that
maybe,
must have
maybe.
been,
Probably, probably not.
yeah, not that, but people I think were sick because of that too. Yeah.
Mhm.
How about you, Gerard?
You're, a walk. Take a walk, or I jog, or I drink tea. Probably. It's kind of hard to take a nap. I feel. Uh, just can't take a nap sometimes. Because I don't know. I haven't actually had a successful nap in a few years. Probably not a few years, like a few months. I haven't had like a successful nap.
Successful nap.
Mm-hmm.
I, I mean, I usually don't take naps because I'm not a baby. But
Uh-huh.
I mean, successful naps. It's hard to have a successful nap.
I know. Every time you nap, it
Yeah.
feels so bad when you wake up. You just
Yeah.
wanna, you just wanna go back
Because
to
like
sleep.
I think you have to at least sleep like 6-7 hours to have a good sleep. But successful nap, 45 minutes and wake up, then what do you feel? Like you feel very bad. You feel extra exhausted. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't think it's really hard to have a successful nap.
I think the shorter the better. I feel like the nap. Not shorter the better, but I think I would rather have a like 20-minute nap than like a 40 or 1 hour. Because 20-minute nap, you still have. I think your brain still, it's easier for you to wake up and feel more refreshed than
Yeah, that's true.
1 hour
No.
where you're
I don't
completely
think
sleeping.
for me, I don't think just having a nap is a good idea at all. Just close your eyes and just stay like that. Like don't sleep. Close your eyes and
Right.
just don't listen to
Yeah,
anything for like maybe 10 minutes. Don't take a nap because
Yeah.
it's like rebooting. So I think it's rebooting your body, your brain if you're basically sleeping. So if you just wake up after 20 minutes, maybe it's not the best idea. So I think, yeah, not sleeping at all is maybe, I think, the right idea.
Yeah, right. I think the importance of sleep is so important right now because I just keep like I can't even face the camera right now. Like I'm just so unfocused. It's kind of like difficult. I feel like going
Uh-huh.
without yeah going without sleep.
You didn't
Interesting.
sleep much?
Yesterday not much.
How long?
I don't know actually.
Well, what's your average sleep time usually? I checked my phone and it's usually 7 hours. I don't know. I thought it was always
Yes,
8 hours, but I don't
me
know.
too. Me too. It's always 7:20, 7:30 for me.
I think that's
For
good
me,
enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for me, I think it's like,
10 hours.
no, 8, 9 hours. Because I sleep like 6 hours, average 7 hours at night. And um after I finish my baseball practice, come home and sleep extra hour. It's not
That's a
like
nap.
I'm trying to,
That's a
but I'm not.
nap.
No, because it's not like I'm gonna take a nap.
That
I
is
just
a
I just
nap, though.
no
That
no
is
no
a
no
nap.
no. It's it's a
Yeah.
blackout. I
No,
just
it's
black
a
out.
nap.
It's not a nap. It's
Called a nap.
it's
I don't know what you're
no
talking
no no.
about. I don't know. I don't know.
So total in total maybe 8, 9 hours, maybe 8 hours. I think average
Mm.
is my nap time. No, not nap time. Sleep
Yeah,
time.
it is your nap time. Um, um, for me, the thing I'm fascinated with dreams. I mean with sleeps. With
Mm-mm.
sleeps are the dreams for me. Uh, do you guys usually have like lots of dreams daily or not really?
Yeah, I think my dreams went away when I was a kid. Like it's kind of weird. I finished reading The Little Prince actually.
Yeah.
Just a few weeks ago, and then I if you guys don't know what book that is, it's kind of like a book talking about um the difference between childhood and adulthood and how us adults, because technically guys we're adults if you think about it.
Yeah.
Steve, you're like 16, no you're
I'm
17.
17.
johnny's Johnny's
17.
17. I'm 17 turning 18,
I'm
right?
18. Yeah, I'm 18. Yeah.
Oh, actually you're 18. It
Yeah,
was your
yeah,
birthday
yeah.
ago, right? So we worry about so many things like the money uh or geography. It says in the book geography actually. They have a person like creating all the countries, and then the little prince, he's actually a traveler. He's the one actually traveling. So he asks the geographer why the geographer is just sat down and working on the country. Shouldn't he be the one traveling? And I don't know, the book just highlights, I guess, the difference between childhood and adulthood. And more I'm starting to think um that there's something special about being a kid. Like, do you guys ever feel like you want to be a kid again? Just
Yeah,
I am
remember.
yeah.
still a kid. I am still
Yeah.
a kid. I don't even make my own money. What do I do? I,
Yeah.
it's still a very secure place. Even though you say we're like adults, we're not adults at all, really.
Oh,
Um, Being adult is really different. I think personally, it's like sometimes kids they think like they're adults because they try to act like they have a lot of responsibility, but later on you realize that that wasn't a lot because let's say you fail a test, you still get to eat, you still get to sleep with your parents' money. And if you're an adult and now you don't have the support of parents, your failure can lead to hunger, or you can't eat stuff because you don't have money. You can't sleep properly because you don't have the right rent. I think that those type of responsibility hits different than just doing tests. I mean, because even though maybe we're stressed with tests and all that, we feel secure. We're not gonna like um be we're not gonna be like sleeping on the floor because we mess up a test.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like there's some boundaries that we don't realize, but there is. But as an adult, you got to bear with all of that. So I think we're still all kids. Who I don't think we're adults. It's
Actually, I think me a few months ago would disagree with you. But I think more and more I'm starting to agree um, with some of the stuff, like this kind of stuff you say, Steve. Because I think I think one of the videos I saw that Johnny actually showed in Self Improvement Club was that one of the things mature people do is they're somewhat pessimistic about the future, so that nothing nothing ever gets like spiraled out of control. So I've always seen your points as kind of like pessimistic but realistic, and I think that's the kind of mindset that you kind of step into once you're growing older. I don't know, cuz I'm still I'm still like experimenting with this a little bit. So, John, you have any thoughts like
Or
regarding?
maybe we're just, I don't think we're kids either, too, that's why. Maybe we're just students, you know? Maybe
in the
that's,
middle, in
yeah,
the
in the
middle.
middle, right in the middle. That's why we're called young adults, right? It's like,
Mm.
you're a kid, but is ready to take, you know, the responsibilities of being an adult. But, you know, I think the opposite happens. Let's say when you're a kid, you want to be an adult, right? But
Yeah,
when you're an adult, you want to be a kid
a
again.
kid.
Yeah, so
I
it's
think
so it's kind of weird, right?
no,
It's
but I always wanted to be a kid
really.
because I always saw how much of a pressure adults had, but they just didn't want to express. They just hold it to themselves because they're an adult. They're an adult. Like you have no okay. If we're all an adult, let's say if we say all adults, we have our own stuff to do. There's no backing up each other. I mean, we could, but it's harder because we got our own stuff to do. If we're adults, we got our own family. Like our priorities will change. And as an adult, I never see a dad um always looking for support, or I don't see a dad who's always asking for help for someone because he's now an adult. He knows that it's his duty to manage his own responsibilities upon himself, which is really hard. So that's why I don't want to be an adult. You know, it seems really hard. I don't know if you guys see, but being an adult is kind of it's a lot of stress. But you just get used to that stress, you know, I think. So that's why like just think about it. Um kids will ask your support, right? If you're a parent, kids will ask you for support, but you can't ask kids for support, you know? Kids will ask you, but you can't ask them. That's always
Yeah,
already a responsibility, you know?
one thing I noticed. This might not hold true for you guys, but every time that I feel like I need support from other people, it actually feels better supporting other people first, like instead of focusing on having to support myself. Because every time I felt like and I'm feeling bad, I mean, not every time, but sometimes like I will text my friends like how they're doing, like are they okay, and check up on them. And I think I especially do this with you, Steve. Um, right? And I think the reason why I do that it's because I don't know. I think it's also a way to handle your stress and your problems better by, instead of asking all the support from yourself, uh, or to yourself, it's fun and helpful and like fulfilling giving some sort of support to other people, and then you'll in turn feel better about yourself then, and you'll feel better about your problems. So that's my take. Like, I
Yeah.
think we do the opposite in times of trouble.
I think that makes sense because when you're supporting others, you get to think more, rationally, and then you can see the solution for other people. But then when it comes to your own problem, people get to, I don't know, I feel like they get blindsided and they don't really know the solution. But by also supporting others and giving the quote unquote solution to them, I think it also kind of helps you view how you view your own problems too. So I think that also makes sense for me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But Steve, you said, but if I think about it, if kids are like being employers,
Mm,
right? And adults are, let's say, CEOs.
mm.
And so you wanted to be a kid. So that means you want to be an employer.
It's kind of different
Let's
because
okay. Let's
look,
not get into this debate right now.
no,
Okay,
no, but the thing is
hold it right
different.
there. We have debate club. John is actually in debate club right now.
Yeah.
Instead of Steve. I know Steve, you have baseball practice and everything, but oh yeah, there was one thing that's completely unrelated. This is just me stirring the subject, so we don't have to talk about employees and
Yeah,
employers.
yeah.
I don't know. That's a really, really, really long debate that the three of us have had. But I was thinking, it's actually very fulfilling to see the interactions with our podcast, like even this really small ones. Like I've seen some YouTube comments that are like complimenting our podcast, and even one of our teachers like listened to the podcast, and she said it was really nice. And like occasionally you have some friends just listening to the podcast and like giving their thoughts, and just personally I feel like that's super fulfilling. That's what keeps me as well, like motivated to do this podcast. And I'm sure like it's something you do, Steve, like because you get comments on your SoundCloud, and like even if you don't notice them as much, I'm sure it encourages you if you see positive support. People like your stuff.
Hmm.
I mean, the thing is, there's always something to do with my song. Like, there's no like, song is never finished. It's not like there's a test, there's a quiz. You always try to um, cross that vague finish line. It's not there, but it's there probably. And you know, because sometimes I listen to my like what Johnny said. I was just listening to my music, and and okay, quality wise, I can't really do anything now. But the volume was actually really relatively low compared to all the other songs. So now I have to file a request to my one of my distributors and say fix the volume, please, and then they will get me back, and maybe I have to kind of increase my volume in my track and resend it. I mean, so these stuff I think come to stress sometimes because it's very vague. The whole process, the results also pretty vague. You know, it's not like you get 100 out of 100 if you have 60 monthly listeners. What's that? You just have 60. And I think that's how adulthood works, right? There's no test. You know, you don't know if you're doing well or bad.
But the
Yeah, I
results
think
are just money. It's just like that.
And no, but it's very comparative too.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
no 100. Like,
yeah.
if you, let's say you earn 1 million a year, that's really, really, that's like massive amount. That's huge amount. But let's say your friends all earn 5 million. That's not 100 for you, at least.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's,
that's true.
I think that's
I
the
think
biggest difference between students and adults.
I think yes, I agree with you. I think students have so much potential in them. I They have so much potential energy that just becomes kinetic energy in the future.
Whoa.
They lose their potential energy. Um no, no, no. It's students, we aim so high. We have so many goals. And I think a part of adulthood is learning to settle as well. Because as Steve said, you could have 1 million while your friends have 5 million. Does that mean 1 million is a small amount? Comparatively, maybe, but are you gonna drive yourself crazy to get 5 million, and for what reason, right? Um, so as an adult, you need to distinguish that, I guess. I think IB helps do that actually. I don't. It
Yeah.
always ties back, but I think IB helps us do that.
Yeah. I think IB helps us, you know, um, get in get into the college life easily too. Because apparently college is much more easier compared to IB. Because IB you have just so many things to do, and so many stress, and so many things to think
Um,
of.
but I think college will still be more stressed because
And like
maybe
differently,
the
I feel
first
like
year. Yeah,
differently.
definitely. Maybe the first year, but starting second year, third year, you'll have that pressure that you have to make money actually.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
Yeah,
have to
to
do
find
stuff.
a job.
So that's like
Imagine
the adult struggle after that
And
soon.
just the existence, like acknowledging that you have to make money in 1 or 2 years is huge stress. Because right now, I don't think we really do think we have to make money. We really don't think about it. But if we're a college student, it's something we actually have to think about. It's it's not something that's very far away. So,
mm, yeah,
and I think that's
and
mm-mm.
you said that you think that adults get less support, and in a sense that's true, and that independence is true. But I also think that as an adult, I want to keep doing what I'm doing, and I want to keep reaching out to other people and asking them if they are struggling with their stuff, because like I know how much other people have done for me in terms of my struggles. Like I always talk to other people whenever I feel stressed, and that's what keeps me going, really. Maybe it's different for everyone, that could be a lack of independence, some people could say, or like in modern contemporary like mental health, that's what you're supposed to do, right? But like to everyone, that's what I also want to like provide. Like if I know one of my friends is struggling, especially when they're an adult, because that's probably way harder, then I'll try my best to keep in contact with them and ask them how their day was and stuff like that.
Mm-mm.
I'll do that, I'll do that more often, I feel.
Mm-mm-mm.
I think, yeah, like getting support is also part of your responsibility when you become an adult. I think it's like, because when you're a kid, support comes to you when you don't do anything, even though you don't do anything. But then, in
Yeah.
order for you to get support in adulthood, yeah, you have to look for it, right? That's the
Yes.
thing.
You have to. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So everything is it's on your hand. It's at the same time it's good. At the same time it's also bad, because it's everything is on your hand. you can control what you do, how your life will be, even though there's luck and stuff. But at the same time, because you have so much responsibility and burdens, so I don't know. Maybe kids like, yeah, I think kids like the part where adults could do whatever they want, but adults don't like their part, the fact that they have to do whatever they want, and then they have to get all the responsibility. It's weird. It's the sense of freedom, I feel like.
Yes, freedom's only freedom if you have it no capacity. I feel too much
Yeah,
freedom is
yeah,
actually, well, it's not bad. It just feels different from freedom.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, too much freedom is bad. It's really bad because, if you do nothing, that's a thank you for others. And some people are just quiet. And I think that's when you realize the existence of talent when you have too much freedom. Because that's when the talent is actually revealed. The schoolwork, you don't have to be talented to get 100. It's if you just work hard enough, you can always get 100. It's just school. But in society, I think the talent really matters. And it only reveals when there are no rules. So when it's completely free, that's when the talent reveals. And then it's kind of devastating for some people to
That's
realize
true, actually.
that there are some people who have massive talent and you don't. And it's not a fair game, but life is never a fair game.
Mm-mm.
It's
Do,
close to fair during high school.
do you think everybody has their own talent? I mean, it's a very cliche saying, but do you guys actually
No,
believe that
no,
everybody has a talent in something?
no, no, I don't.
Um, I feel like it depends though, because you're saying talent has to be like superstar,
Right.
amazing level. Not necessarily. I feel like a lot of people are very good at something though. If I name my friend group, like my closest friends, I think Steve is very good at helping other people feel better around himself. I feel like uh, we had a past episode that said we know ourselves best, and therefore we tend to judge ourselves harshly and not believe in ourselves. But so I think this can also rub off when we're talking about talent, right? When
Right,
we're talking
right.
about, because like if Gerrard compliments me on something, it might not be true the way I see it because I've seen all my bad
Mm-mm.
sides and I've seen my failures. But this is from my point of view, and I think other people also have this point of view. So I
Yeah.
think Steve is very good at making other people feel good. I actually have something in my Ganza thing for Steve.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
that's
yeah.
along the same lines. Johnny, I feel like is always a role model to other people. He's very quiet and he works hard. Like obviously, um, when people compliment Johnny, he doesn't always like 100% think so, but I think me and Steve think so. Andres is very like quirky and like he has all of his interests. Cairo is Cairo's very easy to talk to. He's a very simple guy in my opinion, and that's one of his talents. Who else? Ben, also a very simple guy, very easy to talk to,
Yeah.
and you know, he has an enthusiasm in life. I feel like it's
Right,
very
right.
important for people to have. Just simple things like that. I
Mm-hmm.
consider talents. If I even like look at other people, like I look at like Ryan for example. He's very funny. He makes people laugh around him. About like someone like Gino, for example, probably doesn't listen to this podcast, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel that he's very like likable, he's very respectable, and he's there's not really anything bad you can say about the guy, you know? So I feel like those types of things are talents, and I can see that type of, from my perspective, those types of stuff in people.
I see. It's
I
just,
mean, but you know, if everything is talent, nothing is talent.
but it's not really everything. That's not really
Mm,
everything. It's still something that you have that other people don't really.
yeah,
So
I think that's like your strength, but not talent. Talent is different, I believe. It's
maybe,
something
but
stronger. It's just your strength, no? If you have good personality, that's your strength. I don't think it's a
yeah,
talent. Talent is something you you can't really do anything about it sometimes. They're just born with it,
yeah. I feel
right?
like these type of stuff are also maybe
Good
born with it.
personality. I
Yeah,
mean, you can work for that. You can work for that.
yeah. That's also a subject I'm curious about. Like, people. Some people say people change, but some people they don't. Like, I don't know. I don't know which stance I'm on into. It's
I think
hard
it's
for.
really hard to change.
Yeah, it's
It's
hard to
really hard
change.
to change. But it's possible though,
Yeah, I
I
think
think.
it's possible, but it's just really hard.
Um,
Yeah, because there was this song, one song that I listened to. It's called Needing slash Getting, and it's about like the guy. It's about a girl, right? And then it's like the lyrics goes like, "I've been waiting for years. I've been waiting for months for you to change." But then later on, he realized that needing is different from what's you're gonna get, right? So there's like no use of wanting a girl to change when you know she's not gonna change. So it's a very sad thing too. Like you really like a girl, let's say, and you have this one part
Mm.
that you wish things could change, but it wouldn't, right? That's something sad in my opinion, but also something
Mm.
unique for them. Yeah, I know the world is so filled with double-sided like answers, or I feel like
There's no answers in
yeah,
in this
that's why.
way.
Yeah.
There's because let's say there was no precedent, okay? It was
Yeah.
unprecedented. Like there's no cases just like you, but what if you're the first one, right? No one knows. So there's no answer. So
Yeah.
I think that's what makes it really hard. I I'm trying to build my profile as an artist, and I'm always trying to seek a way, but there's no guaranteed way. It's always like you could try, but it might
Yeah.
not work.
I
You
think,
could try. Yeah.
right. I agree with you that there's no like clear answer, but I feel like history is a very good tool to use there, because 100% you're not unprecedented like your circumstances. I feel like other people have always had the same thing, like multiple, multiple generations have come before you. Like, you really think that no one had problems with their music, or like having the same problem on SoundCloud or Spotify or stuff? I'm sure like a lot of other people have had those problems. It's how they deal with it that's kind of unique, I guess.
Yeah, no, my problems are all precedented, but there are problems sometimes that are unprecedented. There are sometimes. They're like, it's just you. It's just you. And I think that's what makes our lives unique. But it's like let's say, um, what are the problems that might be unprecedented? I mean, all problems are because it's the context. You might be
Yeah.
dealing with the same problem, but the context is different, which makes it a whole different problem, which is
Mm,
why all problems are unprecedented. Let's
perhaps.
say you. Mhm.
No, 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 like perhaps in that case, personalities could become a talent, right? Your personalities could be the segue to a better solution probably to that problem too. So in that case,
Yeah,
your
in that
personalities,
case,
yeah, becomes a strength and becomes a talent, the special talent you have. So
yeah,
yeah, in
but
that case,
might not be in some cases.
right, right.
Might be just
See, that's
so
the
it's like,
thing. The world goes
right?
two-sided. Like there's always
Two-sided, right?
yeah, there's no answer. There's no answer.
There's no answer. And I think that's the hardest part because you
Yeah.
don't know if you're going to the right, if you're taking the right track. Always, it's like you question yourself. But I think that's why you have to believe in yourself, even though you can't. You have to try because once you question yourself, it goes forever.
Right, right, right. Because there's like
Right.
unlimited answers, right?
Right. And then, like, let's say, instance of music, okay? For
Okay.
instance,
Okay.
that some stuff I just have to move on and say it's my style. It's my unique style. But some stuff, if you get those critiques or feedbacks, some stuff you have to take an objective look and change it because it's maybe not just about the style, but it's maybe really about the overall quality. But the thing is, that's very subjective. What's your style and what's not? Because
Yeah, yeah.
Tyler is now one of the most famous artists. But if he had 5 monthly listeners, his Cherry Bomb album, it just sounds like a 5 monthly listener album. It's like so much distortion. It's hard to listen. I don't think it's a good music. I think it's more noises than music, in
Right.
my
Right.
personal opinion. Um, but since it's Tyler, the context is Tyler, it makes sense. But
Oh.
the thing is, it's not for everyone. So is it up on you to change? Because if you change so much, if you change everything that you have because people give you critiques, you lose your style.
Yeah, but at the
I
same time,
think
if you don't change, you're gonna get
right, you
critiques
never
again.
improve. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you won't improve. So it's really hard when to change and when to not. And that's why that's where you start questioning yourself. Am I in the right business?
That's why you just keep trying. Just
You
try
just keep
different stuff.
trying. Like, think about it. Tyler, after he made this Cherry Bomb album, he didn't change. And he came back with one of the best albums that he've ever made. The next album.
Right.
Like, so it's like, it's really, I think there's a lot of luck too sometimes. Like, sometimes you just get it right. Sometimes. Because there's some people on YouTube, there's Korean YouTube channels, like music YouTube channels, that there's like sort of an equation in music. So if you structure it this way, it's gonna be most likely a hit, and I think that's bullshit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah, I think so
Too
too.
much to think about. There's too
Yes.
much to think about, man.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
why.
Yeah, just to have an equation. That's why business management, I mean, business, topic business, is not really a high school subject because it's more based on life, I think. Business management, business. They just list examples, they just list cases, they never give you answers. Same with econ. It's like, could be. I mean, those
yeah, yeah.
are one of the ways, but they never give you a straight answer. It's not like it's always going to happen. It might happen. What if it doesn't?
It all
Then
comes to you.
something else,
It all comes to you.
right? It all comes to you. So
The end of
even, yeah,
no, yeah, it
right.
comes to you.
Oh, and like, there's a saying, even the best economists around the world don't know what's going to happen in 5 months.
Right.
They could take a guess, but 50% of them are wrong
Yeah.
because, that's how. So what's the point of studying in the first place then? If you can't do anything about it, right?
Oh no, 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 no. I I agree
So
with
it's like that.
everything you said. I agree with everything you said,
It's
but
not
you
study.
No,
contradict
no.
it.
So no, but so I'm
Like,
saying you should,
look,
you
look,
should, you
yeah.
should, but that's what you face. Like, at that point, you question yourself: what am I studying in the
Oh,
first place? Because I mean, you gain, you learn, you develop as a student or as a human being as you learn, but you can't see. so you don't know if you're learning or not. Sometimes you even feel like you're taking a step back. Then it's really, really hard to go through those situations. Um, you know,
Yeah.
Mac Miller, like famous musicians normally face mental problems, right? Because it's it's almost crazy to constantly make music for 10 years, 15 years, and not question yourself. At a certain point, you start to question yourself. But it's not just about music, it's about everything.
Yeah, I think it's everything. Yeah. Every time you face a struggle, every time.
But think about it.
Yeah.
Then is solution trust yourself? No, no. Because sometimes you should not. Sometimes
Yeah,
you should
no,
criticize
that's
yourself.
why. That's why.
Then should you criticize all the time? Like should you
Yeah,
change all the
exactly.
time?
There's no
No.
answer.
Sometimes you should trust yourself. Who
That's
knows?
why. That's why I think you need help from other people, and that's why you should help other people because only someone else other than yourself can give you objective, good intentioned feedback
Yeah.
because you get
But the thing is, if you change according to their feedback, is that right though?
well.
Sometimes it's
I
not.
I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
go
that
ahead.
I just think there's a higher possibility that could be right. I mean, it could be wrong, but still, it's better than just doing on your own.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
then
that's right.
yeah,
But like,
what does Sting say? What did he
Oh
let's
say?
say Johnny gives me oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
no. Go ahead.
So let's say Johnny gives me a feedback on my music. Sometimes I change because his feedbacks I actually do, and Johnny see them. And Johnny can like listen how I change stuff based on his feedback. And I'm just trying to change like just right now my Spotify recent release because he said volume level's too low, and I think that's objective look, and I think that's an objective criticism. So I'm trying to change and asking my distributor to increase the volume and can we
Yeah.
change it a little bit? Can we edit my release? But sometimes his suggestions are not quite on point in my perspective, and I just don't change it. And it's like it's always the extent, but there's no clear answer.
Right.
So
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
your tangent right now, Steve, someone is the same as someone who is stuck in like a mental like pit of like constantly overthinking. I don't think you're the overthinking type. It's just that in an industry like music, you're gonna constantly think because you're right, different structures in life have different like levels of structure. Like maybe you're an economist and you're fine with being 50% wrong, you know. But if you're a musician, maybe you're only right 13% of the time, right? Who the heck knows, right?
Yeah.
Maybe part of it is radical acceptance. This is actually very existential because this goes back to my research for my extended essay. But Jean-Paul Sartre said that, part of living is you have to have radical freedom for your choices. In his piece Existentialism is Humanism, he talked about a soldier having two choices. One choice was staying with his mother, who was dying of a terminal illness, and the other choice was going to war and fighting for his country. And John Paul Sartre said that no one could give him the right answer. He was radically responsible for whatever he chose. And I think so. If he went off to war, no one could tell him he was wrong. If he stayed and cared for his mother, no one could tell him he was wrong either. So I think the hardest problems in life are those types of choices where you have to decide by yourself. You know
Yeah.
what you're gonna do. No one can tell you that. But if you keep seesawing back and forth, and then you never make a decision. And I don't want to see you like going through that musician kind of problem, Steve, because I feel like it's very hard for a lot of musicians because they don't get this straight about life. But just knowing that everyone has the same problem as you, Steve, to different extents, obviously, different
Yeah,
contexts,
yeah.
then you can be more able to face this in your life.
Mm.
And I'll keep supporting you as a friend,
Thank
in
you, thank
regard.
you.
Yeah. And then this again, just to tie it back
But
up, this again ties back up to adulthood too. If because you have to have your responsibility of your choices
I
too. So
yeah,
yeah,
the thing is that I have my own responsibilities on my choices. So
yeah,
that also hits me. But from things phrase, when he said always gotta make decisions, you just can't, you don't know what's gonna happen. So I always try to make decisions. Looking back, I did make progress, probably a lot for me, because I didn't even have a finished song by July this year, right? And now I have a Spotify channel, I have a SoundCloud channel, I have a YouTube channel. Um, I'm planning on different stuff. I even performed. It's with
yeah,
my
yeah,
song. It's
yeah.
it's like,
That's
and
crazy.
as Johnny said,
Yeah,
my Spotify music, just listening to it now, it's not right. The volume level, it's too low,
yeah,
I believe.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I thought it could, and so I increased volume and it sounded just right. So I was like, oh yeah, maybe it's the volume. So I'm trying to switch up volumes, but it's not perfect, right? The release is not perfect, my music.
yeah,
But I still decided to release the song because who cares, right? I gotta do what I have to do. If I never released a song in Spotify, I would have never known that my song was relatively, you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
relatively quiet compared to all the other songs. It's only I realized because I made that decision. So I think one of the that's kind of a new knowledge, new idea that I have these days is in order to succeed, um, I think bearing criticisms is really important because some people are just really scared to be criticized. I mean,
Yeah,
most people are. I mean, all
right.
people are. But
yeah,
some people hide it, and they can bear it, even though it hurts. You just bear with it,
yeah,
and I think, I mean, that's for me. That's why Johnny is always amazing friend. When he criticizes, it doesn't hurt. That's that's because he's close friend of mine, so it doesn't hurt. It's just real like okay. But what's really scary is if there's like other people, they don't even criticize you,
yeah.
right? They're just like that shit. I'm not
Yeah,
even
those
gonna
are the
tell you.
things. Yeah, yeah,
Like, so you gotta ask someone to intentionally hurt you with it's not hurting you, but it hurts if someone says your stuff sucks.
mm-mm.
It's just hard questions, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you have any main takeaways?
Main takeaway? There's so many actually. No, that the things we talked about. But yeah, no, the the main idea I liked was that there's no answer. It's in a sense it's maybe existentialism is right. Maybe life is really just really meaningless. But I don't know. It's just make your it's hard. It's hard to give any answer or statements. But yeah, it's just the it's meaningless.
Well,
Yeah, it's meaningless.
oh,
Right?
Yeah, it's
So
meaningless.
yes. Well,
you come back to my point.
Yeah.
Life is meaningless, but you just try to find
Yeah,
meaning
yeah,
inside
yeah.
the meaninglessness. And that's what I said. And going back to all the debates, you guys will agree more than ever to what I've said as going for as going on. Like, if you guys become like 21, 22
Okay,
college
okay,
students, you guys will agree to my point.
okay.
Because
That's so Albert Camus.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, it is.
so Albert Camus. But I
Yeah.
think we should wrap up our episode
Right,
here.
right, right.
yeah, yeah.
It was one of the most tired episodes I've been, just physically and mentally. Um, but this has also been one of the best, most eye-opening episodes. Just
Hmm.
you might forget it, but it's always there. It's a record now, and it's
Mhm.
going to be on our Spotify. So
Yeah,
yeah, back to this, guys. Whenever you need, I might come back to this episode
Yeah,
because I often listen to our
yeah,
episodes.
yeah, yeah.
So yes, thank you for joining us. How long has it been, Johnny?
It's in 50 minutes, 51, basically.
Oh,
wow.
okay. It's not longer than it actually is, but yeah.
Mm,
Thank you guys for joining us.
yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Not the most optimistic episode, but
But I think it's a
still.
very helpful episode, in my
It's a
opinion.
very helpful episode.
Yes. All right. See you guys on the next episode.
You guys.
See you guys.